The twin towers of the Israel and the Nipstein, they came crashing down.
Jeff's actions suggest that for him, they don't.
Mom, the meaning. He wrote me Ness email. Read it, Mommy. Does that not sound like Mean Girls, the movie?
Mike's whoopsie wrong version was simply something that uncritical Jeff wanted to believe.
Release the Nipstein rap video.
Wait a minute, get it how you live it.
Jeff Nippard, Jeff Nippard,
Yeah.
Trendsetter, Jeff Nippard,
Yeah.
Science-based lifter, Jeff Nippard,
Yeah.
Quick stepper, Jeff Nippard. I don't want to take your picture. And so getting back to Jeff's comment, the entire HTLT brand, harder than last time, the entire brand, my entire brand, worth tens of millions of dollars, is an acronym that originated from videos falsely claiming I wasn't training hard based off one clip of me deadlifting during back injury rehab. He literally thinks that my company brand, harder than last time, of which I have a sign in my basement that I look up when I'm ready to sprint, when I haven't gone hard enough, when I'm thinking, do I have any strength left, any power left? I look up at the sign, it says harder than last time. That was based on Jeff doing one set not to failure while he had hurt his back doing deadlifts. Really, Jeff? Main character syndrome much? You think I named my company brand to try to get at you? For trying to get at you for training like a kiddie, not training hard because of one set you did not to failure when your back was injured? Really, Jeff? You really think that's the case? Or has it been my entire brand for decades? Since I was a little kid, since I was in my teens. I started training at 10, I'm 50. I've been training for 4 decades. It's longer than you were born. And what has been my motto? Train harder than last time. Harder than friggin' last time. Harder than last time. Don't you know it's train harder than last time? I don't push 1 to 3 reps in reserve. Don't do too much recoverable volume. Don't push yourself. Save yourself. No, I tell people to train hard. And so my brand, harder than last time, is not based on the fact that you didn't train hard for one set of deadlifts because your back was injured. Greg also constantly peddles bunk supplements like terkestrone and undermines science regularly. Really? I have over 1 billion views, Jeff, and I debunk false bullshit videos that other people make. And my terkestrone is not bunk. It's a Juga turkistanica, and I've been vindicated, and I know you know this. I know you've seen these videos. It's not possible that you have not. You know that Derek was the scammer. Terkestrone from Coach Greg's HLT supplements comes from a Juga turkistanica from Uzbekistan. And I have proof, and you're welcome to test it in your new lab whenever you want. Lyle, your other Coast collaborator, and I are not on good terms. Oh, well, wow. We're not on good terms. Remember who Lyle is? Jeff used to love this guy. Was an ambassador selling his programs, his books. Jeff used to promote Lyle, but now they're not on good terms. Why do you think that is? Have you ever seen any of the Lyle videos about Mike Isertel? Lyle constantly pokes the holes in Mike Isertel's knowledge. And so what does Jeff then do? I don't like Lyle because he doesn't like Jeff. And I like Mike. And so because of the circle jerk they're involved in, well, I can't be friends with Solomon because Solomon's friends with Lyle. Does that not sound like Mean Girls, the movie?
It's adorable. Oh, it's so fetch.
Jeff has literally stated that he almost agrees with everything that Lyle has stated. He literally hired him to go over his programs. And so Nippard knows that Solomon knows what he's doing. He, as in Lyle, cut me off at least 5 or 6 years ago for no apparent reason and not in a nice way at all. In not a nice way, Lyle stopped messaging Jeff, and so he now hates Lyle because in not a nice way, he stopped talking for no reason. Jeff, you were friends with Hussein, and why do you think you used Hussein for that video? Could it be because he had close to 3 million followers on Instagram? Could it be because he was very famous and trending, and you thought that by putting him in one of your videos that it would get a lot of views, of which of course it did. And so you tried to milk Hussein. But then Hussein, well, he's friends with Coach Greg. And so wait a minute, I can't be friends with Hussein because Greg is now friends with Solomon. and went on his channel. And so what does Jeff do? He then throws Hussein under the bus. That is the level that Jeff is willing to go. If you don't say the right thing, if you don't jerk the right person, you're not involved in scratching the right backs, well, he doesn't want to have anything to do with you, and he'll throw you to the wolves. And so then he says, recently, he sent a harassing email received by my mom, who manages my web email. Let's unpack this. He writes Jeff an email, of which his mom reads, because his mom manages his email. I mean, what is Jeff living with his mom? His mom manages his email, and so his mom reads the email, which is directed at Jeff, and he then says, oh, you wrote my mom a nasty email. No, Jeff, he wrote you the email, and your mom happened to read it. What did you say? Mom, the meanie, he wrote me a nasty email. Read it, mommy.
Not the mama, not the mama.
What kind of a baby are you? I mean, I know you're a manlet, but you don't have to be a baby. A few years ago, I released an ebook for a high-frequency program, and he used that to publicly call me a charlatan. I guess only Lyle is allowed to release ebooks. Jeff is now thinking, well, anyone that's friends with Lyle, you're outcasted, because he hurt his feelings. I also thought the expose on Mike's PhD was petty. Really? It was just petty. As far as I know, fair journalistic standards are to at least reach out to the party before publishing. I mean, this is ridiculous. It would be like going to the movies, watching a movie, and not liking it, and then calling up the producer of the movie and saying, are you sure that I watched the final draft? I mean, I didn't really like the movie, so hey, do you have another version of that movie that I could read that maybe I would like? Really? That's what he should have done? Where was your messaging, Hussein, to make sure that my comment on someone else's wall was in fact the truth? Where's your credibility, Jeff? I think Mike has better morals than what your content implies. How do you know that? Is it pillow time talk with Mike Isertel? How do you know Mike's morals? Did he say that after perhaps the lube was out? How would you know Mike's morals? He literally makes videos saying, I'm very good at lying.
Lying is easy as hell.
And at the end, oh, please keep this private. And so essentially, I'm going to make fun of you. I'm going to put you down. I'm going to tear you down. I'm going to say all these horrible things about you publicly. And then in private, I'm going to tell you a bunch of things, but please don't share this to the world.
How the hell did scientist Jeff know that the originally uploaded text of Mike's thesis was just a rough draft? He hadn't seen the verified, date-stamped metadata confirming the claim.
And so you see, Jeff cared more about defending Mike no matter what. He didn't care if it was actually right or he's wrong. He didn't care about the science, the facts. He just wanted to make Solomon look bad and Mike look good because Mike is in his circle jerk.
Mike's whoopsie, wrong version story was simply something that uncritical Jeff wanted to believe.
Jeff is a very emotional man. He gets his feelings in the way. He doesn't simply report the science. He carries his emotions and shows you a fake, false version of himself on camera. When you talk to Jeff in private, one-on-one, it's, you're a park builder. Or if you read his DMs or if you see what he tells to people in private, he's very, very nasty, to say the least. And if you saw what Jeff actually says, how he treats people in the real world, including his fans, you would not think the same of Jeff. Did you see that video that Jeff took with Hussein? Did you notice that when a fan wanted a photo with him and Hussein and asked Jeff to take a photo, that Jeff was saying, no, I'm not taking a photo.
Yeah. If I grab a photo? Yeah, of course, it's bro.
I'm not taking this.
I'm above that. I refuse to take a photo. I'm Jeff Nippard, a trendsetter, science-based lifter. I don't want to take your picture.
And for scientist Jeff, this imputed change of direction is pretty funny. Well, now I'm finding Jeff pretty funny. What has happened to the mild man of fitness?
He thinks he's untouchable, but with all good things, they come to an end. And so Jeff's reign of superiority, the twin towers of the Isertel and the Nipstein, they came crashing down.
Jeff says that he doesn't align with the drama and gossip I do. And yet he's the one who created it in this instance.
He pretends that he doesn't do it. He pretends he's all about the science. At least in my videos, I say, yeah, I'm doing some drama. You guys all love it. Jeff pretends it's science this, science that I sell snake oil, when he's only saying that because he's jealous, he remembers the videos I did about him in the past, and he's willing to lie. And so if he's willing to lie about this, what else is he willing to lie about?
If he didn't write those offensive, pot-stirring comments about me, then I wouldn't be making this video.
Jeff asked for it. He poked the scientific bear. Man who's smarter than him. And eventually, Solomon had had enough. I'm not going to get bullied by Nippard. You turk around and find out. You made fun of Solomon, you poked the bear, and he simply went out and exposed you with receipts, evidence showing exactly the type of person that you really are. You wanted to have that squeaky clean, I'm Jeff Nippard, the scientist, that I just report the science, that I would never let my emotions get in the way, but we've seen your true character, the comments that you're posting, the things you've said to people in private.
Jeff seemed to identify with Mike's predicament and protested too much. Perhaps he was wondering, how much longer can I go on without being talked about as a talent-free zone?
And so was Jeff projecting? When Solomon was critiquing Mike, was Jeff thinking, oh no, what if he critiques me? And so did he perhaps lash out to him with the understanding that I better bury Solomon right now, disparage his credibility, so that in case he says things about me, that people won't believe him?
He dirty deleted his 2 public posts that sought to make fun of me for my Israel critique. He now has to reckon with the reality that I was right and he was wrong.
Does Jeff apologize? No. Let's hide the evidence. And what did Mike do? Did Mike first apologize? No. Let's hide the evidence. It's the wrong draft. Let's make up a story. But once people don't believe that story, well, it's damage control. And this is the same with Jeff.
Why would Jeff Nippard launch such a bizarre, unprofessional, misguided, and intellectually bankrupt attack over a critique that was never about him?
Why did Jeff get involved in any of this? I mean, Solomon was his friend. He had paid him. He did great work. Why did he get involved?
This is not the behavior of a scientist engaging with a critique. It is the emotional reaction of an insecure insider lashing out.
And so Jeff, he doesn't want to be accountable. He doesn't want to be scrutinized. He doesn't want to be examined. Is Jeff fearful that maybe one day somebody would find out that perhaps his training programs weren't as good as he once let on? That he wasn't the so-called scientist that he claims to be? That he simply has made friends with the right people who back him up and lead him to be more credible than he actually is? Is Jeff an actual scientist? Is he a researcher? Does he understand what he's doing? I think not. Where is his PhD in kinesiology, or at the very least his master's? I mean, he studied the mouth. Doesn't mean he can't read a paper, but does he in fact know how to set up scientific research data information? Absolutely not. We saw Mike Israel make mistakes in his PhD thesis, and so do you really think that Jeff would not know how to do the same? You need to know how to read the data, to do the proper statistical analysis, and without that, all the research in the world could essentially give us nothing.
The response from Jeff's quarter was not soberly to embrace academic integrity, but to close ranks in denial for the sake of tribalistic solidarity.
When someone challenged Mike, of which is a huge deal, rather than thinking, does he have anything valid to say? He chose to simply make fun of him. Why let someone critique my friend Mike? That could affect me financially in the future, and so he decided to simply outcast Solomon, make fun of him, and did the same thing to myself.
Science is little more than a brand identity, a pretentious tinny shield, but one that's quickly discarded in favor of personal allegiances.
And so was this science or personal alliance? I think the latter. Is Jeff actually showing the science, or is he simply showing you science as a brand in order to sell you more programs and to make more money.
The standards we claim to uphold must actually mean something. Jeff's actions suggest that for him, they don't.
Be sure to follow Solomon. Go and check out his video. It's 47 minutes long. I hope you enjoyed the Netflix documentary, the 10-part series, whatever. What will come of this? Will Jeff Nippard ever apologize? Will he change his mind? I personally don't think so. I think Jeff and Mike and the group of researchers are all going to just have each other's back no matter what. And so, do they really care more about the science, or do they care more about the circle jerk that they belong to? And of course, interested in GO2 Max, Turkestrone, all the various supplements, code Greg 15% off. Interested in coaching by myself and my team, of course, click the link and apply. The cookbooks, the training books, everything, head to the website, code Greg 15% off. And remember, if you're interested in getting your blood work done, as well as getting supplements from Algo RX, click the link in the description, code Greg 10% off. This includes things like Cialis, Viagra, Telmisartan, or perhaps GLP-1 such as Ozempic, Tirzepatide, the list goes on. And until next time, I am out.